So, Carlos, here's another question. It actually riffs off of the question that you just answered, and this is from Jay Gabalski. And he's asking, how is Cisco using social media technology to foster co-creation with customers? And before you answer that, tell me what co-creation is when we're talking about that with customers.
Well, I was laughing because Mary, who is in the room with you, I just basically gave her a note and I said, I've got an idea for a new presentation. And I was going to call it the co-era, the CO era. And the co-era is because it's co-creation, it's collaboration, and all of these things that, we're doing together. And so co-creation is when you take companies like Cisco and people that don't work for Cisco all around the world actually convening and contributing in a way that creates something new. As a matter of fact, the example that they're probably referring to is, we're not the only one, but we've created and have a contest called iPrize. And what we're doing in iPrize is we're actually tapping into the world resources and asking people, hey, give us your best ideas. And we've gone through a whole filtering process and we selected winners, and we're actually in process of taking the winners and taking those brilliant ideas that they submitted into the point where we're actually building products and creating technology. So, that's ways of tapping into the world. There's actually a number of other business models that I think are very intriguing. I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with models like Threadless and Rise. And Threadless does T-shirts and Rise does sneakers. But those two companies, their key thing is they really have very small staffs. I'll give you an example. Threadless will do probably about $30 million, and I believe they have 4 employees, right? And why? Because the whole design of the T-shirts are done through their people in the world, right? Their team. It's done through voting of their community. The orders come in, and all they really do is print the T-shirts and mail them out. So those are very simple examples of how co-creation is happening, leveraging a lot of the tools that are available today.
So, Carlos, believe it or not, we are up to our last question here. So we've just been flying. I know. I think we all are here. With our first broadcast, we're just. I feel like we're just getting our legs underneath us.
My motors are now on full. Come on.
So I guess this means we'll just have to do another one, right?
I hope you invite me back.
Of course. So as we're wrapping up here, Carlos, if you could tell us what collaboration technologies today that you are using that is really making your life easier, if you will, more efficient. I know, like you said, things are changing all the time and you're experimenting with different things. But today, when we talk to you today, what are the technologies, the collaboration technologies that you're gravitating towards and are really excited about?
Well, hey, let's start off with the first one, Ustream. Right? This is possible through Ustream technology. I've never used Ustream before, ever thought that I would be broadcasting. But just take a moment and think about what it would have taken 15 years ago for us to be able to pull something like this off. You wouldn't be able to. You'd have to have a studio. You have to have airwaves. You have to have a whole bunch of things. And here we are, very simple, Carlos and Karen, here at Cisco with a camera, leveraging the technology and the internet that's there, and God knows how many people are joining, and we're all collaborating with all of these technologies, whether it's Twitter and Facebook and everything else. So this is a really microcosm of what is possible. And the other thing is, so this is one of them. So I use Twitter a lot. I think one of the key things that I discovered, and this is Carlos' simple mind, is that brands are in the future, people aren't trusting them as much as they're trusting people that are carrying a brand. So I'm a good example of people following me, or a better example, Padma, Warrior, our CTO, who has 1 million plus followers on Twitter, right? So in the future, I think Padma will be playing a very critical role in taking our brand and messaging out to her followers. And 1 million is a fairly large number, right? So that's one way of doing it. I also think these tools are great in the examples that I used on monitoring and really figuring out what's happening in the world. It's a really great tool. And I can tell you through Twitter, and as we do a lot of our investment and calls, we monitor the buzz. that's going out on Twitter to kind of get a feel for what people are thinking and maybe the questions that might come up. So, I think we live in a world that is really amazing. I think that I'm very privileged to be not only with a company like Cisco that is really driving a lot of this change in technology, but to really experience in a world where there's a great equalization going on. And all of these tools are giving a voice to every single human being. And, this democratization of talent and ideas, it's really what it's all about. And I tell this to my kids, I say, work on talent, get your ideas, and as long as you've got a computer and an internet connection, you can get it out there. So I use everything, including telepresence. That's my favorite by far in WebEx. But use everything, experiment, learn from it, and ultimately you'll know how to leverage it.
Great, Carlos. Well, thank you so much for this wonderful discussion and for being our first in this live broadcast. We are planning on doing many more in the future, and we would really put it out there to our viewing audience to check back with the Cisco Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at Talk2Cisco, and obviously follow Carlos and send him tweets about collaboration and everything else that he's involved in. I just want to thank you again, Carlos, for working with us today and for sharing some very insightful ideas.
Well, Karen, I just wanted to say thank you, and it's all about always pushing the envelope and trying new things, and I give all of you a lot of credit for experimenting. Thank you for the privilege of being the first on Talk2Cisco, and for all of you that were able to tune in and submitted questions on Twitter and Facebook, I thank you for that, and I hope that our dialogue doesn't end with a Ustream broadcast, because social media is really about continuing the conversation. So I hope to see you out there on both Facebook, Twitter, and other mediums. And again, thank you for the privilege to be here with you this afternoon.
Bye. Bye.